This killer killed 19 children, 2 teachers in Uvalde, Texas. This is being called a school rampage. The Instagram account is where we got that from. The Instagram account posted an image 3 days ago of 2 rifles, including what appeared to be a Daniel Defense AR-15 with a high-capacity magazine. Another image from April 28th showed someone holding a magazine. He has a fascination with guns, all right? So let's talk about that. What do you think the fascination with guns come from? Well, it's because we have a gun culture in the United States of America. A gun culture, a fascination with guns in this country. You see, there are real victims. Once again, this is not just a story. This is not just a segment. This is not normative, and you should not become desensitized to the reality of this carnage. Put up the picture of some of the victims we've been able to confirm. I want you to look at them. You can see their faces, right? You can see their beautiful smiles. They're dead. All of them are dead. You know, people have asked, and keep their pictures up, Doc, why did the death toll keep changing? The death toll kept changing because parents had to submit to DNA tests to confirm if their children were dead or not. They were not even recognizable to their own family members. Republicans are saying, oh, this is not the time to politicize. Damn it, this is the time to politicize, because politicize means to be concerned with the affairs of your community, your government, and your country. That is the definition of political. We elect politicians to solve actual problems. That's the entire reason you have the job. Would anyone say to a plumber who has a broken pipe in front of him or her, this is not the time for you to start being a plumber? No, we elected you to be a problem solver. That's why you're here. That's why you have this job. Now let me go to Steve Kerr. Coach Kerr, he was supposed to talk about basketball, right? Here's what he said.
I'm not going to talk about basketball. Nothing's happened with our team in the last 6 hours. We're going to start the same way tonight. Any basketball questions don't matter. Since we left shoot-around, 14 children were killed 400 miles from here, and a teacher. And in the last 10 days, we've had elderly black people killed in a supermarket in Buffalo. We've had Asian churchgoers killed in Southern California, and now we have children murdered at school. When are we going to do something? I'm tired. I'm so tired of getting up here and offering condolences to the devastated families that are out there. I'm so tired of the, I'm sorry. I'm tired of the moments of silence. Enough. There's 50 senators right now who refuse to vote on H.R. 8, which is a background check rule that the House passed a couple of years ago. It's been sitting there for 2 years. And there's a reason they won't vote on it, to hold on to power. So I ask you, Mitch McConnell, I ask all of you senators who refuse to do anything about the violence and school shootings and supermarket shootings, I ask you, are you going to put your own desire for power ahead of the lives of our children and our elderly and our churchgoers? Because that's what it looks like.
Coach Kerr had more to say. Here it is.
50 senators in Washington are going to hold us hostage. Do you realize that 90% of Americans, regardless of political party, want background check, universal background check? 90% of us, we are being held hostage by 50 senators in Washington who refuse to even put it to a vote, despite what we, the American people, want. They won't vote on it because they want to hold on to their own power. It's pathetic. I've had enough.
You see, Kerr broke with routine. You see, he was told, go there, say We are devastated by this. We're going to have a moment of silence, and we're going to do this in the name of those victims. We're going to play basketball in the name of victims. No, he broke routine. That's leadership. Sometimes leadership has to break routine. You know who did not break routine? This guy.
I'd hoped when I became president, I would not have to do this again. Another massacre. Uvalde, Texas. An elementary school. Beautiful, innocent, second, third, fourth graders. And how many scores of little children who witnessed what happened see their friends die as if they're on a battlefield, for God's sake.
Come on, America, wake up, wake up, wake up.
They'll live with it the rest of their lives. There's a lot we don't know yet. There's a lot we do know. The parents who will never see their child again.
Routine. All right? Routine, right? Every president has a playbook they follow when things like this happen.
Yep.
Console the country. Talk about the victims. Express outrage. Here's the next step in the plan. Go to the location where it happened. Meet with some of the family members. Hold a press conference in the locality of the carnage. Go back to D.C. Make a press release. Say that something needs to be done, and then blame it on the opposition party that nothing has been done. Routine. The guy who coaches basketball sounds like the president I would prefer to have in moments like this. Let me give you some more background.
That's right.
18-year-old killer slaughtered 19 children and 2 teachers, according to the updated report from the AP. This was at a Texas elementary school. He barricaded himself inside of a single classroom and began shooting anyone that was in his way, authorities said Wednesday, in detailing the latest mass killing to rock the United States. Law enforcement officers eventually broke into the classroom and killed the gunman, who used an AR-style rifle. Police and others responded to Tuesday's attack, also went around breaking windows at the school to enable students and teachers to escape. The lieutenant of the Texas Department of Public Safety said on NBC's Today Show, Olivares told CNN that all of the victims were in the same 4th grade classroom, Robb Elementary. The killer barricaded himself by locking the door and just started shooting children and teachers that were inside that classroom. He said, it just shows you the complete evil of the shooter. Put up the picture of the children again. These beautiful, children were eradicated by a killer who purchased the weapon legally because our laws and our policies allow it. The killer can purchase an AR rifle before he can purchase a glass of beer. Delon Silva, whose nephew was in a nearby classroom, said students were watching a movie when a bullet shattered a window. Moments later, their teacher saw the armed assailant walking past the door. Oh my God, he has a gun, the teacher shouted twice, according to Silva. The teacher did not even have time to lock the door. Investigators did not immediately disclose the motive, but identified the assailant as Salvador Ramos, a resident of the community about 85 miles west of San Antonio. Ramos had hinted on social media that an attack could be coming, suggesting that kids should watch out, according to State Senator Roland Gutierrez, who said he had been briefed by state police. Ramos legally bought and brought 2 AR-style rifles just days before the attack, soon after his 18th birthday. One of the guns he purchased was at a federally licensed dealer on May 17th. That's according to the senator. Ramos bought 375 rounds of ammunition the next day and then purchased the second rifle on May 20th. On that day, an Instagram account appearing to belong to the killer shared a photo of 2 AR-style rifles. Earlier, law enforcement officials said one Border Patrol agent who was working nearby when the shooting began rushed into the school without waiting for backup and shot and killed the gunman. The agent was wounded but able to walk out of the school.
That dude's a hero.
You know, the school actually had somebody already there with a gun. That did not stop this killer. You know what could have stopped him based on the facts of this scenario? A policy that said you cannot purchase this weapon. You can't do that. We don't allow you to purchase this kind of weapon. And I know some will push back and say, well, if he really wanted to get his hands on a gun, he could have. He could have done it illegally, even if there was a policy saying he could not do so legally. Well, you're right. Okay, let's go down this rabbit hole. People can still get things illegally. The idea is to restrict it. Maybe the time it takes in order to get a gun illegally, maybe something happens in that period of time where he talks himself out of it, or somebody else talks him out of it, or perhaps he commits to trying to do the illegal thing and he's caught and arrested and apprehended in the process of trying to get an illegal firearm. But you never get to that space when you are creating laws and creating an atmosphere to literally make it easy for killers to kill.